looking for something called the ribbon stage. If you can come close enough to see. When you've beaten it up enough, you should be able to see a ribbon or like a thick line of batter that stays there for a while before sinking in. This isn't the best one I've ever made, actually. It would be better if it was a little bit thicker and stayed for a little bit longer before sinking in, but it's good enough. So that's your egg foam. Don't be doing banging on it and stuff like that. We want to keep the egg foam in there, the air in there. Okay, so I have my egg foam and I have my flour, and I need somebody to help me. It's going to be Katie. Actually, Patrick, can you come around next to me to help me? Around here? It's your well, you need kind of two people for this. So you're going to gradually shake it in there while I use my hand to fold it. You guys need to really clean your fingernails with a scrubbing brush for this and make sure you don't have nail polish and grimy fingernails. So start shaking it. Shake about a quarter of it on there, a bit faster. Yeah? And then keep shaking it while I fold it. I'm using my hands to go over and under. I know it seems weird for you guys to use your hand. You gotta shake it faster. Faster. Closer.
Like here?
You can use a spatula. Go lower, a little bit lower. You can use a spatula, but if you use your hand,
You're using everything.
thank you, now stop. If you use your hand, you're able to detect where there are lumps, okay? So yeah, you can just stop for a second and then do it again in a minute. So going under, and over to get all of the flour mixed in without actually, you can use a spatula, it's going to get all over your hand anyway. You cannot use a whisk because that would take out the lumps of air, the bits of air and your batter, and you would end up not having all of it. Don't bang it on the side. See, Tyreek was trying to show you. If you use your other hand, it will help. Yeah. Okay. So over and under with your hand, just until we don't have lumps of flour in there anymore. And the reason for your hand is because your hand has feeling and it can tell if there's lumps of flour. Okay? As soon as there aren't lumps of flour is when you stop. Wipe your hand off. And this is actually the hardest part, I find, is leveling it onto your tray.
I can't.
Huh?
What?
You can do it on your one. I know you're good at this type of thing, Lorenzo.
How much
So-
lunch cake do this make?
So this is going to make one sheet. This will be enough for 2 of your cakes. However, you're all going to make one today because I want you all to try it. So we got it here. I'm going to use this side because the side is not round. This side will not give you a straight line. And carefully spread it. We're not trying to squeeze it because we want to keep all that air in there. We're trying to spread it to the side, focusing on the corners and try not to leave parts that are too thin. If it's thin, it turns into a cracker. And you get a spot where, especially if you're making a jelly roll, you can't roll it up because it's a thin, crackly kind of dry area. Moving it.
So how high does it rise?
Huh?
How high does it rise?
It depends how much air is left in it after you're done with mixing it. So you could end up with this being quite thick, or you could end up with it being very thin, purely based on the skill that you have shown. Yeah, I know, Tyreek. You'll find that when you bake it, it looks way more uneven than it did when it was raw. So that's why you have to be careful. You also have to be fast. The longer that you fluff around with it, the less air is left in it too. So you've got it like this. Spread it just as much as you think you can. Avoid any really thin parts. And then you're going to put it in the oven. Now, we need to use the deck ovens for this. Please don't put it in the convection oven. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands, put it in that deck oven. If I was making a jelly roll, rolling it up afterwards, I would get out a tea towel with icing sugar, flip it on there while it's still hot, and roll it up. But today we're just going to be putting them on trays afterwards, taking off the paper